Niamh, thank you for joining me this afternoon. There's been 6 days of strike action this year. It's now the 2nd of May. How much more disruption will there be is a question many parents, of course, are asking.
Well, we completely understand that, and we are really sorry to parents who've had to look for alternatives to look after their children whilst we've been taking strike action. No teacher, no NEU member has wanted to take this action. Our members in our sixth form colleges have taken 7 days of national action, and our school teachers 6 days of action. Now, our talks with Gillian Keegan finished nearly 5 weeks ago, and our NEU members overwhelmingly rejected the offer, and they rejected that offer because it doesn't do enough to close the gap between real-term earnings loss over the last 10 years, but also because it wasn't funded centrally from the government. That would have had to have come out of existing school budgets. And our members know that school budgets just don't have the leeway to be able to make that offer. So head teachers would have had to make further cuts to subjects or to support staff to pay that offer. And the offer was also rejected by the two head teacher unions, and I think that's a really important message for parents to understand.
When we talk about this, though, where we are now after today's strike action is the fact that the government has taken the pay deal of 4.3% off the table. Does that not concern you that you may now not get a better deal?
Well, that pay deal was a proposal for next year, for the 23-24 pay deal.
Sure.
This dispute is also about the 22-23. Now, Gillian Keegan has said that the offer is off the table. The Prime Minister has said the door is always open, and we want to sit down and talk to Gillian Keegan. This is about how she can ensure that there are teachers, specialised support staff and primary teachers in every classroom for every child in the country. And at the moment, she isn't able to do that. We see a 93% increase in teacher vacancies, head teachers unable to recruit teachers, and the number of new graduates coming into the profession is also down. So, this is more, teachers are going on strike for more than just their own pay. They're going on strike to ensure the future of the profession and to ensure that children have the teachers that they absolutely deserve.
So what you're talking about, of course, there is with regards to retention. But if we could break this down then in terms of the various elements, because as I'm sure you'll appreciate, for an average parent, they take their child to school. They want, of course, the best education for their child. And that's what anyone can hope for. But with all of what you're saying, it's not just around the base salary pay. It's disgruntled teachers who do not, according to your words, in terms of have the right support or the right funding. So what would it then take for you to call off these strikes, say if public opinion turned?
Well, I think it would take a serious offer from the government to show that they are committed to pay restoration for teachers. Teachers have seen their pay, on average, in real terms, reduced by 11 to 23%. So, and new graduates are not choosing to come into education. And education is a great job. I loved being a teacher. So the government have to look at what can they do to reduce the workload and the bureaucracy for existing teachers, but what can they do to ensure that you can have flexible working for new graduates? Because parents do recognise that when their child in a primary school has 2 or 3 teachers over a term because they can't recruit a permanent teacher to that role, they know that has an impact on the relationship that child has with their teacher. And I was talking to a parent today whose child has had 13 English teachers since September. She's in year 7. She needs to be able to build a relationship with a teacher so that she can settle into her new school. And, that's the impact that this crisis is having on children every day in our schools.
I need to come back, though, Niamh. You said, and I'm quoting here, a serious offer. Well, what does that mean, though? Yes, you are talking about reducing workload. Yes, you've also mentioned a number of times there with regards to recruitment and the recruitment process. But for people to really understand tangibly, a tangible offer, what does that mean? A serious offer? What are you talking about percentage-wise?
Well, that's up to the government. We have rejected the offer or members have rejected the offer that Gillian Keegan made to us. So obviously she needs to come back and negotiate something higher than that. I think our members want to see that the government is serious of taking steps, maybe graduated steps over a period of years, that our members need to know that their future pay increases will make a difference and will show that there is pay restoration. Teacher graduate pay, we recognise that it sounds like a lot of money when you talk about a teacher earning £30,000 at the start of their career, but that hasn't kept up with other graduate pay, and that means that new professions aren't coming into teaching and too many are leaving. So the government has to show that it is serious, that it won't again, next year offer a below inflation pay offer, which means that teachers are less likely to stay in the career. We need teachers to stay in a career long term.
And just finally on that point, Niamh, I suspect you will have been hearing from teachers, members who have been on strike today. What is their take? How are they feeling about today? This, of course, being the sixth day of strike action that's taken place this year.
Well, they absolutely don't want to be taking strike action. That is very clear. That's the first thing that they will say when they're on the picket line. But they are absolutely resolute and determined that what they are doing is not necessarily just for their pay, but is about the future of state education and for the future of this generation that has been through so much through COVID and have seen education spending be reduced. They see that cuts to GCSEs and A-level subjects in secondary schools, and we are determined as a profession that we will fight to ensure that every child has the education that they deserve.
Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Niamh Sweeney, Deputy General Secretary at the NEU. If you're a teacher who has been on strike, maybe a parent who's been affected by the teachers' strike today, you'd like to weigh in on this conversation, 0800